This is the 3-time Impact Wrestling X Division champion, the newest member of Bullet Club. I am the inevitable Ace Austin. And right now I want you to check out something on YouTube for me. If you're looking for some wrestling content on YouTube, go ahead and head over to the NatioNetwork. All right, they got some old school, they got some new school, and I'm willing to bet, chances are they've got something that you'll like. And that is inevitable.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Vince McSham here with you. And we're going to try and ramble through this thing kind of quickly today because we do have a premiere coming up in just about an hour. And there's a lot of stuff that took place this weekend. It was an exciting weekend if you're a wrestling fan. Curious, what's up, buddy? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Have you cleaned your head before you came in? Sure, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, it started out with Impact Wrestling doing what they've been doing really well for a little while now. I was worried going into the pay-per-view because, as we discussed on a prior episode, their go-home show was not very strong, and it had me a little worried. However, all those worries were put to the side because they put out one of their best pay-per-views of the year, and that's saying something because they've had some really good stuff this year. Feed your head. Now I got you. You're jumping ahead of me. We're not there yet. So we started things out. Brian Myers with the open challenge and ended up being Dirty Dango, who I really, it is what it is. Fandango, But they had a match. It was okay. Got a C+ from Bleacher Report. I would say that was about an average rating for that particular match. It was good enough to get the pre-show for YouTube and a little bit of a warm-up there. Then they had the Impact Hall of Fame induction of Raven. This had some potential. I was a little surprised that a guy who was always so good on a microphone really came across a little like a fish out of water during his speech. I mean, it was kind of, and I know he had a tight time limit, so you could tell his cadence was pretty up-tempo and didn't have that WWE freedom of rambling for a little bit. So that all said, he did manage to thank a lot of people in a short period of time and talk about his career from start to finish in the abbreviated version, of course. And he was inducted by Tommy Dreamer, which is about as appropriate as it can get. When it was all said and done, he said that I just want to acknowledge that tonight we end the feud once and for all. And he went up, gave Tommy Dreamer a hug, and then DDT'd him on the stage. What better way, right? But even delivering the DDT, you can tell that he won't be in the ring anytime soon. But again, man, the guy's done his thing, earning that right. And it was a very ECW-flavored evening, as we're going to cover here in just a few more moments. If you didn't see it, I'm telling you guys, man, it's worth the money. It really was. The thing that made this work is there were matches we knew about. There were things we maybe expected were going to happen, but there were so many surprises. And when I say surprises, not the kind you normally get where all of a sudden somebody who hasn't been under contract for a while shows up and you're like, oh, wow, now they're wrestling here. Nothing to do with that. It was booking surprises that shocked the hell out of me, and it started right out. So here we have Bound for Glory. We've got the X Division title between Mike Bailey, the champion, and Frankie Kazarian, the longtime Impact faithful. He's been bouncing around different promotions over the last several years, but he is back in Impact right now. That all said, they've been really doing a great job of building Mike Bailey as the X Division champion, one of the most title defending champions they've had, and I thought they were going to stay with that. I really did. Frankie gets the win and shocked the hell out of me. It was a great match. These guys went back and forth. They had their spots were right on, and it was just like right off the bat, you say, okay, what you think you know, and what you don't know, you really don't know. They gave it a grade of an A. I'm not going to argue. It was a fantastic match, and that is the way to open your pay-per-view. And you had a shocking finish because I really thought they were going to keep the title on Bayley longer. Mickie James going up against Mia Yim, and as we all know, Mickie James, the next time she loses will be the last time she loses because she will retire, which makes every match she's in have some level of importance no matter who she's going against. Tonight, it happened to be Mia Yim, and that's another great matchup. You kind of figured Mickie James was not going to lose to Mia Yim because Mia's contract with Impact is running out. If it hasn't, I think it actually ran out after the pay-per-view. So the odds are that we won't see Mia on a regular basis in Impact. If she signs with one of the two big ones, then we won't see her at all. I wouldn't be surprised for her to go back to the WWE. I hope she doesn't go to AEW just because, but we'll see. Or she might just do some independence for a while and still pop in on Impact. We've seen people do all these things. It was another great match. Storytelling at its finest, back and forth. The audience was really into this stuff. It was one of their bigger crowds, if I'm guessing, maybe 1,500 people. It's hard to tell on TV sometimes, definitely more than their normal 500. This got a B rating. Again, I cannot argue with that. I think that was an incredibly good match, and you back-to-back. Hannafin told the story about Yim traveling to Virginia at the age of 18 to train at the same school as Mickie James, establishing the connection between the two, and they did do that. They kept on getting back to the fact that there is a long history between them, and it was just so well done. And this whole story has been played out very well with Mickie James, and she's going out the right way. Moved on to another branch of the Knockouts division, this time the tag team title match. We've got the Death Dolls going up against the not too long ago crowned tag team champions of Vexed. Now, going into this match, there's no way in hell Vex is losing the tag team titles. That's how I felt about it until they lost the tag team titles. It wasn't the greatest match on the night. And these two teams, I don't know what it is, but they haven't entirely clicked. And it was okay, though. It was better than what we saw the night before on the Go Home show. But the fact that they beat Vexed, and I really just wanted Vexed to have the title run go at least 6 to 8 months. I just really thought they were a really good team together, and they looked good with the belts, and I just felt like they needed to go at least 6 to 8 months. But I'm not the man with the pencil, so this got a C+. I'm not going to argue with that one either. This is one of the few events where I'm pretty much on target with our friends here at Bleacher Report. So, yeah, the win was a little disappointing for me is all I can say. And I like Rosemary and her team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a big fan of the name they gave them, but I just wish it was a little longer, that's all. Moving on to another tag team championship, the Motor City Machine Guns against the Kingdom. This was a coin toss for me. I couldn't have told you for a fact who I thought was going to win. I know I wanted the Motor City Machine Guns to get the tag team titles back. But at the same time, if the Honor No More were to lose them, then I'd be worried that they're leaving. And I don't want them to go nowhere. So at least for the moment, they're not going to go nowhere. It was another really, really well done match. You should have that when you have these four guys in the ring, and you did get that. Really well done. Back and forth. It looked like the Motor City Machine Guns were taking those tag team titles away. But at the end of the day, we got Maria Kanellis getting involved, distracting people. Then she gets super kicked off the apron. It looks like that's the distraction that's going to cost the tag team titles. But that doesn't do it because they get right back up there and they find a way to cheat to a victory. A+. I'd go at least A. I'd have to watch it again now. It wasn't really an A+. You know, they gave it an A+. I'm going to give it an A. It was a great match. You look at this card, so far you've only had the women's tag team, Knockouts tag team championship match that was below a B. Everything else is B and A's. Here we go. For me, this is when it got real. The Call Your Shot Gauntlet, which basically is a glorified version of the Royal Rumble. But man, I don't remember the Royal Rumble being this cool. They got all kinds of business going down here, and one of my favorite moments was when Bobby Fish came out. And this happened. He's in his home. The crowd is chanting CM Punk. They are chanting CM Punk. I'm like, what just happened? Yeah. So I don't see Bobby Fish getting over anytime soon. Later on, one of the most iconic moments you could ask for in any pay-per-view. Let me turn this down just a skosh. And they turn on his ass. That was so funny when Johnny Swinger comes in there and puts his hand in there like he's part of the ECW team. I mean, he was there for a minute, what have you, but you're not ECW like that. Gave it a B, which I would agree again. If you haven't seen this pay-per-view, I'm telling you, it is worth the money. We had a lot of great little moments in that thing. Moving along, we got Jordynne Grace going up against Masha Slamovich in a really, really good match. We have the undefeated Masha going up against the Knockouts champion in Jordynne Grace, and it was everything we wanted it to be. It was a powerful match. They were slapping the crap out of each other. They were chopping away, hitting with some good power moves, everything you would expect, and it got an A. Again, can't disagree. Can't disagree. Jordynne Grace gets the win over Slamovich to retain the title, but man, there were so many good false finishes in this one that made it feel like it was going to go to Masha a few times. And that brought us down to the World Championship match. Now, they had a little thing go on before this with Alicia and their kids in the locker room with Eddie. And I guess, and I might have missed it, but Alicia apparently had given him an ultimatum that, you know, you're going to lose your family with us or you're going to lose your family with Honor No More. But after the pay-per-view, Honor No More is done for him anyway. And he was telling them, listen, once I win the title tonight, none of that will matter anymore. And then the little daughter looks at him and says, but Daddy, what if you don't win? It's like perfect. From the mouths of babes. Well, guess what? I don't know how it's going to turn out, what they're going to angle play on. Maybe he's going to turn babyface now because he's not going to give up on Alicia, which I certainly wouldn't. Good match, though, back and forth. And another series of false finishes that made you believe the title was about to change hands, yet it didn't. And it got another A. Guys, this is it. This is how you do it. This is wrestling. It's not sports entertainment. This is wrestling. It's fun. And the stories are good. They make sense. They tell a good story in the ring. They have enough time to tell their story. This is really, I mean, throwback for me. I'm just having so many fond memories watching what's going on with Impact Wrestling right now. And I encourage you, if you're not already doing so, to join in as well. All right, as we get ready to shift gears, I've got somebody waiting to join in here. Hold on a minute. And look who's here to join us. It's Jay.
He's
Say
got
hello,
the
Jay.
whole world
Why
in
does everybody
his
want to jump
hands.
the gun? Say hello, Jay.
Hello, Jay.
Well, in case you haven't heard, in case you've been living under a rock, WWE had their Extreme Rules pay-per-view last night, and it was another really solid night of professional wrestling. The only time you don't see all these A's and B's is when AEW is having a show. Why is that? All right, we open up with the Brawling Brutes against Emporium, which, by the way, what a horrible name, the Brawling Brutes. Look at the chest of Sheamus. And this is the day before.
Right. That's from SmackDown.
Yeah. I mean, good Lord almighty. This is just brutal. Looks like chopped meat for sure. Well, this match got an A-. It was a 6-man. It had all the brutality in the world. I didn't know what to make of it. I'm not a big fan of either team, to be honest. But I did see the value in the match, and I get why people liked it as much as that. Would I have given it an A minus? Maybe. More likely a B plus. But I wouldn't argue with that. What do you think of it?
I thought it was a great way for him to start the show. It had a lot of action to kick everything off, and I think it set the tone for the rest of the night.
What he said. We got Stephen Ames joining us as well. Prime Time's in the house. You got it, buddy. All right, let's see. Notable moments. Imperium's red ring jackets are such a specific shade that always looks weird on certain types of HD televisions. How many televisions are they watching it on that they can see the difference? The dropkick Butch hit on Kaiser as he hung upside down in the corner with the Shangri-La, the Shillelagh, sorry, against his neck was a cool spot, which it was. They used that Shillelagh a few times in good ways. The clothesline was another good one. God bless Sheamus for always being willing to take a beating.
Right.
I mean, the last time I saw a chest look that bad, it was Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, it's true.
Of course, well, yeah, his looked that way going into the match, too, so that's about a draw. Now when Cody comes back, Sheamus has got to be his first opponent. The only thing you're allowed to do is chop. That's the only thing in the match. You're chops only. I do agree with this statement here. The way the match used weapons and other props was great because they had the bar outside, they had the kegs outside, guys launching themselves off the kegs. I mean, it was really, really well done. I was very surprised to see this is the second match of the night because I always allow about an hour to go by first. This way, if I'm not liking a match, I can fast forward. And then as I'm joining the live stream and realize that already this match has happened, I got to stop. I got to rewind the whole card and kind of start from the beginning. I might as well have just watched it. But,
yeah, you didn't miss much.
Well, the 6-man match.
Well, I mean, if you would have fast forwarded past the next match, it wasn't nothing spectacular. It was by far the worst match on the card.
When you say next match, which one are you talking about? The Liv match? Liv Tyler?
Yes.
Liv Morgan?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a bad match. I didn't think it was a bad match. I think it's as good a match as she can possibly have under the circumstances. They made her look.
I mean, yeah, they tried to make her look strong, but
yeah.
Liv just she's gotten better, but she's not. I would see her more in NXT for her time than she's not main roster material. She just isn't. And I know a lot of people will hate me for that, but it is what it is.
On behalf of
not that
people, on behalf of those people, let me just say, fuck you.
But that's not to say Ronda Rousey's any better. Ronda's good at what she does, but either one of them needs somebody else in there to direct the match. You can't have a good match with two people who aren't that caliber.
I thought it was a good match. I don't think it was a great match. It was no A+ match, but I thought it was a good match. One of the best out of the ones they've had, the best match they've had. I thought the tables and stuff were used well. And I told you going in, that's the only way Liv keeps the title is because it's an Extreme Rules match and she can do something off the wall or Sasha could run in and attack or something like that. Anything would be possible. And it would take some sort of an event like that. However, that event didn't take place and she lost, as she should. And even in doing that, I mean, Ronda's tying the chairs in with it, the table in with it, and just twisting her around. And then the way it went down where she's got her, she wouldn't tap out. And as she's getting ready to pass out, she smiles. I mean, this was good stuff. It went down really well.
And you're right. It was the best match out of the three that they did have. But
I thought it was a good match overall. Let's see what our friends at Bleacher Report gave it. They gave it a B-. You're the only one that doesn't see it. You guys in the chat, if you watched it, give me a rating. Give me a letter grade for the Ronda Rousey match. I'm giving it a B.
I'd have gave it a C, but
Well, let's just see what everybody else says, all right? Because I think you were drinking during that match.
I wish.
Actually, I was drinking during that match. Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
It could be.
Can of Foster's goes a long way. All right. Well, while we wait for the grades to come in, we got a B from Purist. So far, you're on the low end here. Let's see. As the crowd booed during her entrance, Rousey mocked them by making some crying mannerisms. I thought that was during the exit. I saw her doing
She did it
that.
both times.
Did she? Because I thought she was actually cheered coming in.
No, she got the heel reaction she should have got. So,
No, I'm cheering for her. I'm not booing her. Especially in that match, I just felt like, listen, if you want to have a credible champion and you got Ronda Rousey, put the fucking belt on her. You out of your minds? Drew McIntyre against Karrion Kross. I did not get to watch a lot of that one. I kind of fast forwarded a bit, and I was also in the kitchen getting some stuff to eat. They gave it a C plus from what I did see of it, what I heard in the background. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I hated the ending. Can't tell you how much I hate that ending.
Yeah, I mean, the match never really ramped up like it should have. It stayed at a pretty medium pace, and I think that hurt them a lot. That if they would have had a few more high spots or something to bring the crowd up a little bit more, they might have got more of a reaction. I did not like the ending. Something's got to be done. Somebody, if you know Karrion Kross, telling, having Scarlett out there is great, but you're not helping yourself by having to win all your matches with your manager.
Yeah, with your little blonde girl spraying people with pepper spray and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I wasn't happy with that ending at all. But not only that, the other thing I'm not happy about is they're jobbing out Drew McIntyre on 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you can say whatever shenanigans took place and this and that, but you're making him lose. Too much.
Yep.
So anyway, that got a C+. I'm not going to argue with that.
No.
Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Ladder match. First time ever for a women's championship. I don't feel like they use the ladders properly. And I'm okay with that because I see so many of these guys getting hurt badly. And sexist, whatever you want to call it, I don't want to see that shit happening to women. I don't want them getting smashed in the face with a friggin' teeter-totter move. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That said, they gave it a B+.
I would have probably gave it a B. I think they had a lot of problems because they were trying to use the 25-foot ladders, and Bayley's, 5 foot?
Yes.
4, 5'5"? Yeah. So I think maybe in a future women's ladder match, let's stick it to about the 10-foot ladders, lower the belt a little bit for them, and I think they'll put on a better match.
Yeah, they got to get them those ladders that Hornswoggle used.
There you go. Yeah.
There was the moment where Bayley had her trapped under the ladder and was going up, and I think that might have been the 25-foot one, as a matter of fact.
It was, yeah.
And Bianca could not bench press the ladder, and Bayley had to come down to offset the weight. It's just bad look. I'm surprised they give it a B+. I would not give it a B+. I did watch that one. I'd give it a B-.
I probably would have just gave it a B. I mean, like I said, they had a hard time trying to maneuver those bigger ladders. If they would have just stuck with the smaller ones, they would have probably been able to pull off a lot more and not look so out of place. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I gave them the B- based on effort. They were busting their asses trying to make it work.
Yeah.
And a ladder match is not something you're going to practice. I mean, it's dangerous enough to do it once. You're not going to practice it and then blow out, and she's just coming back from injury. The idea of putting her in that match I thought was insane.
Yeah.
She's been out for a year. You're going to put her on a friggin' ladder. Oh. Let's see.
And I think also with ladder matches, we've had how many years? It's kind of hard to pull out something new.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Nikita Lyons was in the crowd wearing an interesting outfit. Nikita Lyons is just plain interesting no matter what. I like that girl a lot. The elbow drop that Bayley hit from the apron while Belair was on the ladder was intense. I'll say okay to that. The final KOD of the match was scary indeed because, again, to my point, it's not a practiced thing. And it did look like she banged her face pretty good there for a minute. I was waiting to see blood.
Right, so was I.
And Bayley is good at making her opponents look good. I'm ready for Bayley to look good again. Put a belt on the girl. Let's go. Finn Balor goes up against Edge in an I Quit match. And as far as I Quit matches go, this one was as good as any you'll ever see.
This was the match of the night. I mean, by far.
Yeah. I could definitely, I'd have to run down the whole list one more time. Yeah, probably. I loved everything about the ending to this. For me, if you don't have a good ending, you didn't have a good match. You could have a great match and then you screw up an ending and then it's like, fuck.
I mean, the ending is what made the match because these guys beat the hell out of each other in the crowd, in the ring, in the pre-show announce area, and then it came down to Edge saying "I quit" because to say
well, let's jump ahead now.
Oh, sorry.
It was, and then you got the outside interference that you knew was going to happen. Okay?
Right.
So you got the whole group coming down, and they're just fighting them off, and then all of a sudden, what happens? He ends up getting handcuffed again. Now they're kind of overplaying that role a little bit too much. That's how many times we've been handcuffed in the WWE this month. I'm not even sure if it's always been Edge either. I feel like they've been using the handcuffs pretty liberally lately. Say that three times fast. Then all of a sudden, Beth comes out of the crowd looking like $1 million, by the way, and she starts handing out ass whoopings one at a time. And then it's down to her going one-on-one with Rhea Ripley. Damn, it's like that's the match. She's even saying it right there. This is the dream match. This is the match they want it, you want it, I want it. And it's like, yeah, so fucking kick her ass. And she and they start going to town, and then another schmoz kicks up, and then from out of nowhere, Rhea comes up from behind her and nails her with the brass knuckles, lays her out. Edge is now gotten out of the handcuffs at least, but now he's triple teamed, and in the meantime, his wife is laid out on the canvas, and they're putting the chair under her, ready for the concerto. Either you're going to say I quit, or we are going to put her out. And she's already unconscious, and she's playing possum perfect. I mean, she's just out, and they're deadlifting her by the hair. And, of course, what are you going to do? All right. I quit. Say it again. I quit. And then it was just like Walking Dead for me. It was like Negan. I did say no exceptions.
Right.
Bam! Took that chair like a champ.
And I think it helped that Edge sold the emotion in that whole ending to a T.
Well, he's always been good with the facials and shit. And that, if you can't do that, you're not going to be a main event wrestler. And he's been doing it for a long time. When he was the guy for Judgment Day, those promos he was cutting. In the beginning when it was just him and before Finn got involved and Damian Priest and Rhea, those promos where he was in the chair and looking like a purple godfather. Yeah. Oh, Lord, they just were chills. And I was like, God, I miss the good old days when guys could do that shit. Now you got to go back to a 50-year-old to get it done.
Right.
They gave it a B. That's an A- for me. I'm not going to go lower than an A-.
I'd have win at least an A, if not an A+.
I mean, that what the fuck else do they want to give it a higher grade than a B? I mean, he's busting off the rungs on the chair, and they're using hockey sticks, and I mean, come on. A- easy. And probably, to your point, the match of the night.
Yep.
Balor wore a cool spiked mask for his entrance. Balor, excuse me. This wasn't the demon entrance, but had a few elements. That's fine. The ref did a great job of not overdoing it. Learn, Aubrey. Learn. By asking if either man wanted to quit. That's true. He just had the microphone in their face the whole fucking time.
Right.
The use of the hockey stick was fun. There you go. Ripley with a pair of handcuffs is going to be a popular topic on Twitter. Well, it just was a moment ago right here. And I actually didn't read the reviews ahead of time. And that brings us to Matt Riddle and Seth freaking Rollins in a fight pit match. I like the structure.
Yeah.
Because you're not going over the top of the cage because you can't climb all the way down, and that's a long fucking drop.
They said they were 20 feet up in the air on that platform.
I believe it. And even if you went over the top and tried to crawl down about, it looked like maybe 8 foot.
Yeah.
As the top part extends out.
Right.
That's a good 10-foot drop. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
A lot of shit can go wrong. Ask Jim Cornette. So the structure was cool. The fact that you did have that little platform above to battle on, although it's not very wide. It was, what do you think, 6 to 8 feet? Maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like, again, a lot of shit can go wrong. You just step the wrong way, you roll your foot. Or, no, man, I didn't feel too comfortable with them up there, to be honest with you. But that's good drama.
Right.
When you're Irish whipping guys into that little cage up there and then getting ready to come off the top for the big swanton dives and stuff. The young guy whose name I can't think of right now that does the YouTube channel Assembled.
Oh, yes.
He had posted on Twitter earlier. He says, please 2K, please put Fight Pit in the game. And I'm like, are you kidding me? They can't get the fucking game to work right now. You want them to put that in? Why not? Let's just throw in war games for fun. You'll hit play, the game will just go up and smoke. Oh, Lord. But I love the guy. He's fun to watch. Let's see. Daniel Cormier was the referee, former UFC fighter. And I hadn't seen him in so long. I don't remember what he looked like back in fighting days, but I know he's gained a few pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. He's put on a little weight.
I would rather have seen somebody like Rampage Jackson, who still looks like he will fuck you up. I'm sure Cormier will, but he looks more like my high school basketball coach.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that, and I don't like either of these guys. I'm not a fan, never been a Seth Rollins fan. I can't imagine it's ever going to change. And I don't give a rat's ass about bro. That said, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah.
I thought they used the structure, and maybe that was one of the reasons why I was a little more forgiving of them, because it was something new, and it was something that had me like, I don't like him. I don't want to see him crippled, though, either.
Right.
Got another A. I don't know that I would have gone with an A. I might have gone with B+. And that's
I would have said, yeah, I'd have said a B for it. For all the hype that they put into it the last few weeks, I was expecting a few more spots. But for what it was, for ending their feud, it was a solid ending to it.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a bad way to end it. And think about this for a minute. This is one of the most well-scored pay-per-views WWE's had in a long time. I'm not saying it has anything to do with Triple H taking over the reins, but the fact is, you didn't have your world champion. You did that without the world title.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
Well, it helps when you have matches on your pay-per-view that go with the pay-per-view, you know? This is the first time in how many years that every match on it had some sort of extreme rules to it.
Rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a novel idea, huh?
I know, right?
Trips gets it. That's all there is to it. He understands. And I can only imagine. I don't think he's bald because he shaved his head. I think he's bald because he's pulling his fucking hair out with the old man.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And that was the end of the pay-per-view. Oh, well, almost.
It was a false finish.
There's a really well done package as we start hearing he's got the whole world in his hands. Everyone knows whose song that reference is tied to. And they're spotlighting different sections of the arena. And in one place you have the rabbit, and in the other place you got this one, and then over here you got Sister Abigail, and then you got the Fiend mask, and it was so friggin' well done.
Yeah.
And then we got this. A lot of fireflies in the house, folks. Look at the upper deck.
I know.
AEW, that's what the upper deck looks like when it's occupied. I love what they did with the Firefly Funhouse, how they made it all cobwebbed out. And
yeah.
In this case with the door, you got the Walking Dead mold and moss growing on it. By the way, I got my Fiend shirt on today.
I got the Bray Wyatt hat, so.
There you go.
And I have to admit that them doing how they did it made it appear that they were off the air, and Michael Cole and Corey Graves sold that so well, it just added to it.
Now, you have to remember, this is a company that gave us fake Razor and fake Diesel, so you weren't 100% sure still. It's interesting seeing it from this perspective as opposed to the actual pay-per-view stream.
Right.
Oh, that's frightening. Slow burn, baby. Slow burn.
Yeah, it was not a quick reveal. It was about 5 minutes in total.
Now, I hope this mask he's wearing was only for last night, because I don't like the mask at all. I want the Fiend. Don't give me this thing.
Yeah, the mask gave me V for Vendetta vibes.
And this is almost exactly where the pay-per-view goes to black as soon as he blows out the lantern. Boom.
Yep.
Now let's see what the live audience got. Not much more. That right there. That's it.
Yep.
Like I said, it was a really good weekend for professional wrestling. Let's see what happened in the chat here while we were rambling. That's actually a pretty good one, prime time. AEW's locker room fight forever.
Yeah.
If they don't have a locker room match in that game, they are missing it. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I saw a tweet and it
Buddy, I try as much as I can. It's a lot when you're promoting or producing the whole thing over here. And that's why now we'll come back and do the touch base thing. I got so many different bells and whistles and buttons over here that I got to maintain. I do not have a producer. I'm a one-man band. So I do try to bounce in as much as I can. When I do my other streams, I try to bounce in as much as I can. But I'm doing it all on this side. So just bear with me, and I promise I try to get in. Let's see. Should have had more White Robert inferences. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they did that all the way leading up to the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and we'll probably get more explanation for the White Rabbit portion of it on Monday.
Yeah, you think? And why Saturday, by the way? That kind of threw me for a loop. I forgot it was on a Saturday night. WWE is always on Sundays. Oh, maybe football they're worried about?
That, and I think their contract with Peacock, they're now scheduled on Saturdays for them since they're streaming. Yeah, I think it's part of their contracts because Peacock will show football and stuff on there too. So
Pura says he knew that the fight pit idea had to be used. Well, I mean, the fight pit, what was the idea? I mean, was there ever one of these before? I've never seen it before.
There had been two others in NXT, and Riddle was in one of them.
So with that cage structure, they've done it before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I stopped watching NXT a long time ago. Who was in the other
one?
Yeah.
Let's see. It was Riddle and Thatcher in one, and then it was Ciampa, and I can't. Maybe it was Ciampa and Thatcher in that one.
Okay, well, I thought that was the first time, so it was my first anyway, so there you go. Big JH in the house. Oh, shit.
That's cold. Oh, man, that's cold.
Oh, my goodness. You got comment of the night, buddy.
Woo!
Oh, Lord. I don't even know if we can go beyond that.
I don't know. That's it, folks. Have a good night.
Oh, man. JH is on a trip, man. Look at this. Did you see Finn Balor walk out like he just left an S&M club in South Philly?
The bad part about it is when I saw the mask, I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, dear God. Really? I mean, it's one thing for Rhea to be in leather and chains, but Finn,
Yeah, no. The Wrestling Code video, yeah. What time is it?
10 till.
All right, don't have time. I have the video ready to go. I was going to show it on another stream, and I will. It looks really good. I'm going to try and get Dre on to talk about it with us a little bit too. And yeah, so that's going to be good. The video they put out was so freaking amazing. I enjoyed every minute of it. Not so much the part where he's walking out to the ring, rolling in and rolling out of the ring, but once it went to the storyline, if that's any inclination of what we're in for, then thank you. Thank you in advance for finally putting a wrestling game out there that really just touches everything it needs to. Football on Peacock, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. I got the wrong one there. There we go. Football on Peacock on Sundays. That would make sense. And that was the first thought I had is, well, Peacock has both, and they're not going to compete with themselves.
Right.
And I always thought Sunday was a bad day for pay-per-views because you got work and school the next day.
True.
But we've only done it for 30 years, so. You been to a few of them clubs, Jay?
I plead the fifth.
Which usually translates to yep. All right. Well, This has been good. What a freaking weekend. I mean,
I know.
that many A-B matches on two totally different companies over two different nights. You can get spoiled pretty quick and start expecting it. Probably shouldn't do that.
TK,
but
take a lesson.
yes. So anyway, all right. Well, we're about 8 minutes away from the premiere. Hopefully you guys will stick around. Go get something to drink. Come right back. It's a video that I had posted on my old channel many, many, many years ago, about 12 of them to be exact. And I was looking at it the other day with Jay, and it's like, I'm looking at it saying, you know what? That was back when the game had so much you could work with. Cut scenes, and you could build a real story, and you could write dialogue. And now they don't give you any of that stuff.
No.
But I said, if I clean it up, because it was really, again, 12 years old, you didn't have high def and all that. The video quality wasn't very good. It's still not very good, but it's a lot better than it was. And you can still find the original on the old channel if you do a little hunting and compare side by side. But I added some special effects and did a few little things to it to make it look a little bit nicer. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So, like I said, we're going to sign off for now, but we're going to catch you right back here again in just about 5 minutes for the kickoff to the premiere of Rise of the Nightmares. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Say goodbye, Jay.
Goodbye, Jay.
So long, everyone. See you next time.